Hello,
Hi,
nice to meet
Connor.
you.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for sitting down with us. And I figured best place to start was I was wondering what's it like being a rock star?
Well, I don't know yet. I think I'm going to enjoy it. Actually, I've been doing a lot of interviews now, but I kind of called myself the rock star because, I just put out the rock album at my age. And I thought, well, this is my lucky year, 77. I thought, well, maybe I'll have good luck with the rock album. But I've always loved rock music. My husband is a rock freak, and that's where I kind of got the idea to do this.
Right.
In addition to being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I felt I needed to earn it. So I really had a good time doing it, actually getting to sing my guts out.
Oh, fantastic. And was it the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was that kind of what push you over the edge on it?
Yeah, it did. I'm not one to miss out on timing. I didn't even want to go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I didn't think I was a rock star.
Yeah.
But when they told me all the reasons they wanted to put me in, how my music had influenced so many other people, I thought, well, I'll accept it gracefully, but I'm going to have to earn it. Seriously. So I got to thinking, if I'm ever going to do it, now's the time.
Now's the time.
And so I did it. We worked on it for about a year now. Mm-hmm. And I used to hear people say, oh, it takes at least a year to do a rock album. I thought, are you kidding? I mean, usually I can put a whole country album out in 6 weeks if I need to. But it actually takes that much time, especially if you're going to have guest artists like we did and all the wonderful people.
Yeah.
You got to work around their schedules and
Right.
all that. But it was a joy to get to work with some of the legends that I did, like Elton John, Paul McCartney, and Peter Frampton. A lot of Brits on my record, and Rob, Halford. We got a #1 song now.
I've heard
on the
it's
Bygones.
fantastic.
It's great.
And was that like a very kind of collaborative process when you were working with them, or did you kind of land in with the ideas and tell them what to do?
Well, see, we did it different ways. Some of the people we were in the studio with, some of them we were doing stuff live, and then a lot of them, of course, because of their scheduling and our time schedule, they did their songs from their studio, but we were talking all the time.
Yeah.
About what they want to know what I wanted, and I said, well, I want what you want. You're the rock and roll star. I'm just riding in on your shirt tail. So you sing what you feel like singing on it, and then I'll match you, or I'll change a few things around. So I wanted them to take the initiative, although I had some guidelines, but they were all real happy to do whatever.
Fantastic. And was there anybody that you didn't get to work with that you would like to?
Several people. I mean, I ran Mick Jagger's butt all over California, Nashville, and in here, because we were trying to get him on something, and he was willing to do it. But we couldn't, he was working on his album, he was recording, and, you can't stop in the middle of a project of your own. Yeah. You got to take that serious. But we ran out of time, because he kept saying, I want to do it, and I kept saying, please do it. I really, really wanted. Same thing with, a few of the other artists. I wanted Cher on the album, because we've known each other for years, but we never could come up with the right song until we ran out of time. We were still looking. We were still hoping to do it. So there's several people. I wish I could have had everybody. Yeah. But I got a lot of great ones, and I'm very proud of the ones that I did get that were willing to do it. Fantastic.
I was wondering, like, when you were conceptualizing a rock album, obviously there's lots of, different eras of rock. How would you describe the rock? Is this like early sort of rock and roll? Is this later stuff? What would you...
Well, it was a mixture for me. I wanted to do a lot of the older legendary songs in addition to using some of the legendary artists. And the idea, my husband is a huge rock and roll freak. He's always been nothing but rock and roll. Yeah. He tolerates country. He does like some bluegrass, I have to say. He always loved Flatt and Scruggs. Yeah. He had the most eclectic taste in music I ever heard. He liked Sinatra, bluegrass, and rock and roll. Yeah. But he was always blasting us out of the car or the truck or out of the house with rock and roll. Fair enough. So I had often thought I'd like to do a rock album for him. Yeah. So I chose the songs based on some of my favorites, but a lot of them on the songs that he loved. And so I wanted to have songs that I felt I could sing well. So when I got into it, then I started writing some originals, but I tried to listen really close to what is rock and roll. And Kent Wells, who produced the album, he's a great musician, so he was really helpful on our original things, you know, to help make sure that it was really rock and not just country posing as rock. Because I've done a lot of that in my life, but I wanted this to be really, really, really rock and roll.
Fantastic. I was wondering, is that your car on the cover art?
That's the cover of the Rockstar album. That's my niece's car.
Oh, really?
My namesake, Rebecca. Yeah, she had that old car, and so the photographer, he said, well, has anybody got an old Cadillac or no whatever? And she said, I got the perfect one. So yeah, she brought that down, and it's a good old Cadillac.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Sorry.
That's always been my favorite car. That was my dream, to own a Cadillac. So the first car I ever owned for myself was a Cadillac, and I've still got one.
Still not the same car? Is it the same car?
Not the same one, no.
Oh, fair enough. Cool. Obviously, in your rock era at the minute, and you've previously done a bit of bluegrass. I was wondering, are there any other genres or areas that you'd like to explore?
Well, I'm one of those people that I like to hear some of everything, because I like to know what people like. And my husband has been, you know, like I say, he'll be listening to a Frank Sinatra album before Led Zeppelin, before Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. He has a strange taste in music. So being in the house all the time, I'd hear that more for him. But in my own self, I just turn the radio to different channels. If I don't like what's playing, I'll listen to country, then I'll listen to jazz, I'll listen to whatever, because I like to feel like I can kind of embed some of all that as a songwriter and a singer, but mostly as a writer, if I want to write something for somebody else. Yeah,
cool. I was wondering, outside of music, you've obviously done an incredible amount of things. I was wondering if there's anything in particular that you're most proud of.
Well, I am proud of my literacy program. It's called the Imagination Library. It's where I give books to children from the time they're born till they start school. It gives them a chance to read in their impressionable years. My own father couldn't read and write, and that's what gave me the idea to start this program 7 years ago. And we've given away over 200 million books worldwide since we started. So I take great pride in that.
That's fantastic.
And so, and I work hard. I never liked school myself. And I find it funny that I do more homework now than I did the whole 12 years I was in high school, because I'm always having to read something, write something, and recommend something. Yeah. And I thought, well, it's funny, the tricks God plays on you. Now I have to like school.
Yes. That's... I guess the only other thing I was wondering is, how excited are you for Rockstar to drop?
Well, I'm very excited. Also, they like for me to mention when I'm on a show, I do have a book coming out. It still has to do with business. It's called Behind the Seams, and it's called My Life in Rhinestones, and it's really about all the clothes and all the things, all the designers, all the styles I've gone through since I started. It's pretty amazing, really. So that's coming out in October. But I'm just excited about this album. I don't know what it's going to do. We had 2 number ones already streaming, on the Billboard, the digital, on the World on Fire was the first single off of that, and now Bygones is number 1 in the rock charts with Rob Halford. So who knows? And I got Magic Man out with Ann Wilson. People are streaming that one too. So I'm curious to see how it all happens. But the album itself is not coming out till November.
Yes. So really building up to it.
Yeah, and I hope you get a chance to hear it. You're young enough to, I hope you appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Knowing how hard I worked on it, I was so proud to get to sing with these iconic people, sing these great, iconic rock songs. Yeah. So I gave it my best. I just hope people will appreciate it and enjoy hearing it.
Is there a song that's not come out yet that you're really itching for people to hear?
A favorite? Well, actually, there's several. There's a song I wrote that I sang with Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. He went in the Hall of Fame when I did. A song I wrote when I was younger. It's a song I've always loved, and my husband is one of the few songs of mine that he's ever made comment on about liking. But it's called My Blue Tears, and it's a beautiful love song. It's a big production at the end, a ballad. And that's one of my very favorites for several reasons. But I enjoyed, although Chris Stapleton is not a rock star, a rock artist, but everybody loves him like they do Willie Nelson, you know. And so I got to sing Night Moves, the Bob Seger song with Chris, and that's a real favorite. And so it's hard to say. They're all good in their own way, and they're all personal to me for my own reasons. But just having all these great artists on it was great.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you. Are you going to be touring Rockstar?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not touring anymore, but I will probably do a few special concerts here and there. I do things like, say, for instance, Bonnaroo, you know, like if I go do a festival or like a weekend show. But as far as touring, where you have to spend 6 months preparing and then you got to spend another year and a half on the road to get back what you've put into it. So I don't do that anymore. I did that all my life. I've been at this for so long. Yeah. But now I will continue to do special things. You know, like at the O2, I might come over and do a weekend or, you know, something like that. But just specialized shows.
Cool. Well, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I didn't have any more questions, so that's
all right.
Great.
Well, if you're done, I'm done.